Here we go. Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the RPG After Years, your weekly show covering all things RPGs, past, present, and future. I'm Scott.
I'm Jay.
And I'm Rich.
This is episode 27. Today is a very exciting episode. It's the official kickoff meeting of our RPG club. We'll be discussing everything about the first 5 to 13 hours of Wild Arm, depending on your play speed. But we'll also be talking about the end results of our JRPG July community event. Since this is an RPG Club episode, we won't be doing any catch-up. That's the new format, people, on RPG Club episodes, which is every other week. We skip catch-up at the beginning of the episode and go to RPG Club at the end. So that way people who, not only does it help like the length of the episodes, but people who just aren't interested in hearing about whatever we're playing for the RPG Club, they can just, end the episode when we get to that point. Although we encourage everybody to stick with us. However, I do have a couple fun stories. First of all, people watching us on Twitch right now, they might see that I have moved locations. I'm not in the same room that I'm normally in. Did you guys notice?
I did
too. That's the wall.
Looks like from my point of view, it looks like a bunch of My Little Pony figures.
It's a wall of amiibo, which, do you know what that is?
Yes.
Okay. I have all the Smash Bros ones and all the Mario. I have like over half of the whole collection. But
is that your living room?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that couch is where all the gaming fun happens.
Yes, that couch that you can see in the background with the orange blanket on it is where Corey normally sits. But you can't see where I normally sit. It's on a different wall. But anyway, I sort of told you guys this story in the Slack. But the reason I'm in here is I got a new desk. It's kind of a cheapo, like Walmart desk, but I didn't have the desk at all before. So that's good. So what happened is our neighbor, who we have not spoken to in the 3 years that we've lived here. We've exchanged glances a few times. But they knocked on our door yesterday and I was like, whoa, stranger danger, because I didn't realize who it was. Like I realized that he was like walking up to the house before he got there because the sun was setting and I could tell by the way the light was moving that somebody was outside. So Corey handled that and I did like a fucking like Schmeagle, lurking in the corners of the darkness and shit like that. Because I am a super introvert. Don't like meeting people. But so Corey went out there. They talked for like almost an hour. It might have been like 45 minutes. And I'm like starting to get like, what is going on out there? So I messaged Jay and all the rest of them in the Slack, our Slack group. And I'm like, should I go rescue him? What should I do? Eventually Corey comes in and says, hey, come meet our neighbors. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. But he drugged me out there anyway. And they were really cool. It's like this alternative couple. The guy's like, he has like gray hair, but he acts like he might be like in his 40s or something. But they were like alternative. I think he might have been like bi or pan because he hit on Corey and me a little bit. The girl was like an alternative chick with like purple and blue hair. But they gave us this desk and a bunch of alcohol. So
okay, yeah.
We took a shot together out in our driveway.
Yeah, they were seeing if you wanted to party.
We're here to party. So maybe this is like how a swinger group gets started. I'm not sure.
I feel like that's the case.
Yeah, you just you accepted it. So now they're gonna come knock on your door and go, "Hey, remember that alcohol we gave you?"
They're semi-attractive, I guess.
There's that's totally how like creepy college people like get together with like just barely legal high schoolers. Like, look at all this alcohol.
True. Oh, and to add to the creepy factor, while we were standing out there, they were like, "Oh, we see that you're playing Persona," because that's what we were doing when they knocked up. We have a 65-inch TV that faces like directly out onto the street, so it's not that creepy, but still, they're like big RPG nerds too.
Hey, I saw you tweet that, and somebody commented and said, "So they were looking through your window?"
Yeah,
I was like, "That's hilarious."
It sounds creepier than it really is, just because, like I said, it's like you could see it from a mile away. What's on the TV? Not that drastic, but and they invited us to their D&D group too. Apparently, they played D&D. So
I have never met anybody who seems that cool, and I don't know, maybe it's the Midwest that's just not cool like that.
And his favorite Avenger is Captain America, who is my favorite Avenger. So we hit it off.
Okay, well, that's nothing important, but
but what if they're just listening into your walls or something, and they're just trying to find connections to you, they can do this swinger group. You're like, you say everything.
They have one of those you remember when you were a kid and you were obsessed with being a spy, and your mom would buy you one of those $20 like a spy kits where you could just listen to things. You point at it. They have one of those just sitting up against their wall. That's yours.
They know you like RPGs. They know you like Captain America. They know you like alcohol.
You know what?
Hit on you.
I think they're fans of the podcast, and they just want to get in on this.
Yeah,
maybe. Well, by the time I went out there, Corey had already told them that we're a gay couple and I have a podcast and all about like my whole life. I'm like, Jesus.
Wow.
But speaking out. Right. But we'll see where that goes. Maybe I'll keep you guys updated on all that. But speaking of creepy, we watched a movie last night called what was it called? Host. And it was a horror movie about a Zoom call. They did a seance over Zoom and end up summoning a demon. And the whole thing is through Zoom. And like it even has the layout of what the program actually looks like the whole time and all that.
I need to watch this.
Yeah. So maybe that'll happen to us
scary?
one day.
Was it scary or was it comedic?
No, it was an actual horror movie. As far as it actually being scary, I don't get scared very easily because I'm kind of a horror movie buff, but it wasn't the worst movie I've watched in a while. So check it out.
I get scared very easily, by the way. I usually whenever I watch, I don't do very well with like spiritual horror movies. Like I'm totally cool with like, oh, serial killer, like some crazy people, because that's a human. You just shoot it,
right? Yeah.
But whenever it comes to like spiritual horror, I'm usually like, ugh.
Yeah.
I can't
go mess with that stuff.
That's my favorite.
I am not superstitious whatsoever, and like am very not religious. But man, like, and I don't believe in demons and ghosts. But if I watch a horror movie about demons and ghosts, I believe in demons and ghosts whenever it's midnight and I'm walking through the house.
I think we have the same mentality, Jay. I was like, I don't believe in that stuff, but you know what? I'm not gonna find out if it's real or not.
Yeah, I'm just not taking any chances.
Yeah.
I used to be religious, so demon stuff was like the scariest thing to me, and it still is, but like
The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Did you guys ever?
Oh yes.
That's my favorite horror movie.
I watched that as a kid, and oh my god, I remember because there's one section in it that's like at this time at night, that's when demons are most active because it's like the counter time for whenever Jesus rose from the grave or whatever. And like I remember like anytime I'd stay up in the morning, it was like 2 a.m. or something. It was some weird time. And whenever that time would hit, I would get so scared.
It's 3 a.m. The Witching
3
Hour.
a.m. Yeah, there you go.
I've seen that movie many times. Like I said, it's one of my faves. But I used to have that problem too.
I love the scene in the barn whenever she's like
The
full
actual
on possessed.
exorcism. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It's so powerful. What is it? It's like naming off all of the demons.
Yeah, it's like I am Belial. I am the devil himself.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool.
Last update from me. I did get a replacement Vita. It was refurbed from GameShop. It works. I've downloaded like 20 games onto it. I'm a very happy boy. Got that thing in the desk and all that. So I will be able to play Wild Arms while I'm on vacation next week. I already tested it and everything.
Good.
Phew. All right. You guys got any other updates you want to talk about before we move on?
No.
Not really. Ghost of Tsushima is still really awesome, but I haven't played it at all this week because of godforsaken Wild Arms. But
we'll get there. All right. So let's move on to the save state of the podcast. All righty, guys. The RPG After Years has a pretty banging Patreon for you all. Jay, why don't you tell the kind of people about it?
So, guys, Patreon, early episode access, ad-free episodes. You get the aftercast and extra reviews, which basically just means you get more episodes of us talking about random garbage that you may or may not care about. We also, if you are a patron, you also get access to our giving nominations for the RPG Club. So you can nominate a specific game, as well as you get 3 votes to kind of divvy out amongst our list of games that we will do for the club. And there is a lot more than that. So you should check that out at patreon.com/RPG After Years.
We would really appreciate it.
Yes.
Money.
So the next thing with the save state of the podcast is you happen to notice that we are now on Twitch. Holy crap. So you can find us at twitch.tv/RPG After Years.
Yep. We're streaming every episode live and even doing like random side streams during the week. Jay has started to get into coding. So if you're interested in watching coding, you can do that. But he's also streamed Wild Arms a time or two. And now that I have this desk, I am one step closer to being able to stream myself. So we'll see how that goes.
I wasn't able to do a lot of streaming this past week just from being busy with things I cannot talk about on the podcast, but
I got you.
Yeah, I have full intentions of doing it, but good intentions do not always happen. Sorry,
right,
guys.
And speaking of Twitch, the best meat in our chat says hello, and it's meat MEE.
I was about to say the best. Yes. Ooh, someone's confident.
So hello, best meat. Thanks for joining us today. Anybody that's in the Twitch chat, feel free to jump in. We may read your comments on the show and talk back to you. We'll see how it goes.
Maybe.
So the main focus of this episode is the RPG Club. So for those that are participating, the game is Wild Arms, in case you didn't know, and you have until August 23rd to get to the Sacred Shrine. I don't know where that is because none of us have played that far, but hopefully it's not as harrowing to get there as this first chunk was. We have 2 weeks this time, so
I ended up feeling pretty good about going through it, but we'll talk about that in the update.
And if you guys didn't make it to the correct point, the Sand River on time this time, I mean, just now you have more time to catch up. So don't feel like just because you didn't make it that you have to quit. Rich.
I mean, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get there. And then one more little shout out. We have a new quote sister show. I use those quotes very loosely, but Bill has started a new podcast called Bill's JRPG Adventures and Other Trappings. He's done 2 episodes. He has a brand new microphone. He sounds great. If I didn't know Bill's speaking patterns and mannerisms so well, I'm not sure I would recognize his voice. But he sounds great. So the point of that podcast is he's playing RPGs that never got brought to America and have fan translations. So he is playing Monstania right now. Looks very cute and colorful. Disa already finished it. I'm not sure where he's at, but go check it out. I listened to the last episode this week and it made me laugh because the show's intro is like this really sick dubstep track. And listening to it, I'm like, oh, Bill is not this awesome. This does not fit Bill. But yeah, so go check out that show. Once again, it's Bill's JRPG Adventures and Other Trappings.
For some reason, I feel like he needs to get podcast cover art that's a pun on Bill and Ted.
He should.
Every time I hear Bill's JRPG Adventures, I'm just thinking Bill and Ted. We need a guy whose name's Ted.
I know a Ted. Maybe I can introduce them. All right, so let's move on to the news. How's about? After I find the jingle.
Hear ye, gather round for all your news. Stop your clatter and listen close. Alas, you won't believe your ears. Listen close for the news.
Why don't you kick us off, Rich?
All right, so something really cool happened with Final Fantasy XI. So new story content has been launched. It's been announced. 5 years. In the last 5 years, nothing's happened on that. So the title is The Ferocious Resurgence.
Wow.
So
I'm kind of shocked by this.
Yeah, I am too.
When did this come out? 2005? No,
2002.
2002.
Correct.
Oh,
18
man.
years. Now, the last
You
DLC,
were alive, Jay.
Yeah, you were there.
The
last story content was Rhapsodies of Vana'diel in 2015. So it's been 5 years since the actual story content has been released. So I don't know why they're still doing this, but they do have an event. It's just basically an incident ripples the effects of the altered course of history. 3 individuals of unknown origins have inserted themselves seamlessly into everyday life. Their robes murky and their intentions even murkier. So you are basically called to uncover the truth behind the Anamnic phenomenon. I was like, oh my God. Peer beyond the veil of death and unravel the tangled threads of conspiracy that threatens the very fabric of the world. So, sure. Square is holding a Return to Vana'diel campaign in which subscribers can play Final Fantasy XI for free from August 7th to August 17th.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
This is kind of crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like,
I have a theory. I have a theory on how they're doing this or why they're doing this. So people still play 11, so it's still making some money.
Right.
I think that this is an intern project. I think Final Fantasy 11 only has interns or like one person working on it. And they're just like, hey,
by that.
Like, hey, like you wanna learn how to do some video games? We got this video game that would, it's making some money.
Could be.
Learn how to do some stuff. We'll give you 5 years, make one little tiny story content. Come on.
I know very loosely, like sort of what the story of Final Fantasy XI is about, but if I remember right, the Rhapsodies of Vana'diel, which was the last expansion, that was supposed to be like the ending to everything. Like it has all the characters that you meet through all the expansions like come back again and they work together to defeat like some great force. So this is interesting. They decided to bring it back now.
You guys ever play it?
No. If I would like to one day, just so I could say I played all the mainline Final Fantasies, but I don't see it happening anytime soon.
Well, for one, I picked this up just recently, like a year ago when it was on sale on Steam for like $5 for everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I played it when it first came out, when it came out, when it was like 2010 or so.
Yeah.
Holy crap, was it stupid hard.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Like you can leave the main town and then like go just a little bit into the next area, like a little bit down the hill. But if you go further down the hill, you'll get your ass kicked by a bunny.
Sounds like old school FF.
Yeah, you have to like grind your way down this hill.
I've heard that they've made it a lot more newcomer friendly these days. But what do you get? I mean, they were supposed to be working on the mobile version, which we haven't heard about anything about in years now.
Well, I mean, Jay brings up a point, theory of an intern there, but what if they're now launching this just to test to see if there's still any
interest?
Yeah. I mean, I did the math on it. I did
Do
the
you think
math on
this
it. If
game is ever going to die?
No, I don't think so. Because if they have 100,000 people playing this game still, I mean, based on the world and stuff, that's not a lot. At $11.99 a pop, basically a month, that's like $1.19 million
That's crazy.
a month that they get in revenue from that. I mean,
I'd like to see like a pie chart breakdown of where Square Enix gets all its money, like how much does 11 and 14 contribute, all that.
And to be honest, 100,000 people is not that much. So like comparatively to other MMOs, so the costs of the hardware to run that game probably is not $1.1 million. So it's certainly probably a nice little chunk.
Yeah, I mean that pays for a lot of the random stuff. 14
screw ups that they. I'm pretty sure 14 and 11 are just paying for all of Square Enix to screw everything else up.
Oh yeah,
good point.
Is 14 still going strong? I mean, Shadowbringers just launched last year, I think
it was last
summer. I'm still playing it. My brother's still playing it. I mean, it's still a very, booming RPG. And I actually prefer that one over any other RPG, MMO.
Yeah, it's supposed to be good.
Yeah, which, by the way,
if I could play it on something that wasn't a computer, or my PS4, I probably would. Like, I don't know, 11 and 14 just feel like games that I would only want to play whenever it's like highly convenient for me to. I don't want to sit at my desk and play an MMO.
Yeah.
Well, you're trying to get your PC rig together, so maybe soon.
True.
Yeah,
that's so I can play Final Fantasy 13.
Oh, of course. Well, it'll be interesting to see where that all goes.
Yep.
What's next, Jay?
So up next, we have Spider-Man coming to Marvel's Avengers in 2021 as a Sony exclusive. And we also are getting Hawkeye. So,
and to be clear, Hawkeye is not Sony exclusive, or will not be.
Yeah, I totally forgot this game was even happening.
I have it pre-ordered.
So I'm curious, did they delay it because of COVID and now they're like adding new things? Or I wonder if Spider-Man and Hawkeye were just not originally intended. And so it's like, well, we got a little extra time. Let's throw them in. Also, on top of that, how are they going to make? I wonder what the story is going to be like. Because if you have a character that's entirely exclusive to Sony, then that means that Spider-Man is probably not relevant to the main story.
Well, I just learned about this recently. Apparently, there's a big like multiplayer mode. And I'm not sure if it's a battle royale or what, but like they're already, I think it entered beta like just in the past week or so. So I guess maybe that's what all the extra characters are for. Are you excited for the game, Rich?
I'm still a little iffy on it. I pre-ordered it. I know that Spider-Man's coming like later on, so I don't think he'll be part of the main story like Jay said. But I don't know. I love the Avengers. I love what they've done. I don't like the look of Captain America in this game.
He looks weird.
Yeah,
he all kind of look weird.
Well, I mean, the rest of them look close to what they have, but Captain America, he looks like he's just red, white, and blue SWAT team.
It looks like
that is what he is.
Yeah.
The blandest AAA game I could possibly imagine for the license for Avengers.
Yeah, and then what happens is like you get Fortnite, and I see this all over the place. They have a picture of Marvel, the Avengers Marvel game with Captain America standing there, and they have Fortnite's Captain America, and Fortnite's Captain America looks way better.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, and it's Fortnite, and that's what pisses me off.
The real story here is that Spider-Man is exclusive.
Yes.
So people like lost their collective shit when that was announced, of course. How do you guys feel about one of Marvel's biggest superheroes being, tied to one platform?
I think it's kind of stupid, but at the same time, doesn't Sony have a bunch of legal rights to the Spider-Man brand?
They do, but I mean, that's never stopped Spider-Man from appearing in like Marvel versus Capcom or even Marvel Ultimate Alliance, which is something from the past year or two.
That's probably deals they work out though on the side. But here's my thought on that. Wah wah. Sucks to suck. It's basically okay. It's their product. They can decide where it goes. if you don't like it, sorry.
Yeah.
Eventually, those exclusives eventually run out. It's very common that we see a lot of these exclusive go to one or the other, and then like a year or two later, it shows up in the other game. So
yeah, well, I mean, this is capitalism and marketing. I mean, it's how it does.
I do
How it
think it
be,
is a
man.
scummy move. I don't think it's that big a deal, like Rich was saying either, though.
no.
Here's what I think has happened is that Spider-Man game on the PS4 was so successful and such a good game that now Sony is more protective over the video game license to Spider-Man. They're
Yeah,
like
that's
they
true.
consider that a Sony property now when it comes to video games.
And I kind of feel like the Spider-Man movie series, and especially his inclusion in the Avengers series, movie series, MCU, I feel like that's also improves the quality of Spider-Man because like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man sucked.
Yes.
I mean,
Loved Andrew Garfield, but Tom Holland's so much better.
yeah.
I liked looking at Andrew Garfield. I
Yeah.
prefer Tom Holland overall as Spider-Man, but
Yeah. So real quick, which one is the Spider-Man with Venom that also has the guy from that 70s show?
Oh, Tobey Maguire.
Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually had no idea that what's his name, Topher Grace.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Megan, we were watching that 70s show, and Megan goes, "Hey, he's in Spider-Man," and I'm like, "No, that you're thinking of Tobey Maguire." No, that's not. He's not in Spider-Man. I know they look alike. I think that all the time. And then she's like, "No, he's in Spider-Man." And then I was like, "Oh my god, he played Venom." Freaking Eric off of that 70s show played Venom.
Well, Venom's supposed to be
What?
like this big hulking character, and Topher Grace is like a rail. So
Yeah.
that there were poor decisions made all around with that movie. But
And
it's also one of those movies that's so bad it's good.
I have not actually seen it, which I think is why I did not know that. But man, I had no idea that he played Venom.
You're not missing much.
Nope.
Real quick, if the other systems had an exclusive Avengers character, who would it be? So, like, what would Microsoft's exclusive be?
Hmm.
I'm thinking maybe like
War
Hulk
Machine.
or Thor. War Machine
But-
would make sense.
Somebody,
they-
it would have to be
Thor's already
somebody very not popular.
Yeah, Punisher,
I could see the
Daredevil.
Punisher. Daredevil, yeah.
What
No,
would
no.
Nintendo's be?
It would be Ben Affleck's Daredevil.
Oh,
Oh
geez.
god.
Trying to think of what Nintendo would pick as theirs. What's like the most childish hero they have?
Squirrel Girl.
Squirrel Girl. Oh my god, isn't that an X-Man?
I don't know what she is.
Not sure. then-
X-Woman.
There you go. Stadia's would probably be what's like the least popular, like someone that nobody even knows.
I can. How do you answer that question? I don't know what I don't know.
Maybe Ant-Man. I don't know.
Oh, hey now.
Oh,
I like
Ant-Man
Ant-Man.
is awesome.
Yeah.
Look at us. Who would have thought?
We could probably do a superhero podcast, but
Yeah.
Ant-Man,
Oh yeah.
Ant-Man, especially Paul Rudd Ant-Man. I am in love with Paul Rudd. So
Oh yeah. I love
Well,
that
okay, so
meme.
Stadia's theirs would just be like a slow. They just pop up an icon. We have no clue. just some random guy.
Well, we're streaming it to you now. You'll get it in next week.
Or theirs would be some just like random guy.
they
This
made
is
their
Tom.
own. This is Tom.
He's an accountant.
Tom the accountant. He accidentally joined the Avengers.
They get happy like from Iron Man.
Oh.
All right.
Anyways.
Man, let's move on.
Okay. The rabbit hole. Okay. So massive RPG sales, the Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, 1.2 there's definitive. Is it 1.32 million? Apparently I can't read.
Yes.
Ring Fit Adventure, 4 million. Pokemon Shield, 8.22 million. That's pretty good.
Yeah, there was
Pokemon, man.
they blew it out of the water. I think it's only like the second best selling Pokemon already, if I read that right.
Well, no, what's funny is that it's one of the best selling, but yet everybody's like, oh, it's all right.
Yeah, that boycott that everybody was talking about didn't really work.
It's just like it's all right. I'm just gonna keep buying the games.
Yeah.
Well, it's
No
crazy.
wonder they never try harder.
Yeah, they don't have to try harder because we're suckers.
Yeah. Animal Crossing had 22 million units sold.
Didn't it say that like Animal Crossing is already like the second best selling game on the system? That's crazy.
And
I should probably get it.
I need to get it too for just for trying out just to see. But why? I think because the coronavirus is the reason why a lot of this stuff got a bump.
Mm-hmm. Well, Corey and I actually did the review on Animal Crossing, and I think that comes out this week, the week after we're recording, which it would be the Monday that's already passed for most of you guys. So it should be out there for you patrons, hint, hint. But the massive sales figures were partially attributed to COVID. So,
yep.
And the one I was really interested in here is how amazing Ring Fit Adventure sold. As we know, like that thing is just constantly sold out. It's hard to find. I think it recently got restocked, so the situation may have improved a little bit. But yeah, I love the game, and I'm really happy that it sold well. I'm hoping that means we might get sequels. I'm not sure what a sequel would entail, but it'd be nice to just have another campaign more to go through. What other kind of fitness devices could they throw together? Like
some sort of
bar
track
adventure
pad, something that you throw on the ground and you walk on.
Give you push-up stands.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good job on Nintendo. They continue to make massive amounts of money despite not actually putting any games out this year.
Yeah.
Rim shot.
God dang it.
All right, so the last one that we have is the Elder Scrolls Online is coming to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. So Bethesda said that they will allow people who've already owned the game on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One to upgrade to the new consoles versions for free and keep character content intact. Currently, I think the new expansion came out. But yeah, so if you play Elder Scrolls, it's going to be on the new console.
I want to play it. I want to play Elder Scrolls Online, and I have it, and I've played it, but I just can't. I feel I'm so daunted by the task of picking up an MMO. Like I can barely finish a JRPG. Like what?
Yeah. I like the idea of it, but I think I would literally have to be like jobless or a full-time streamer or something to play
just with a lottery.
One of those might happen in the future, Scott. So we'll hold out for you.
I hope it's the latter. I think streaming would be fun.
Full-time stream? I think you should do it. You just have to take your shirt off a lot, though. Take your shirt off.
Worth it. I think I did discover that you can, or guys are allowed to take their shirts off on Twitch. It's just you can't be overtly sexual. So I'm not sure if those two things can be.
You can't do it then.
Putting tape on the nipples and you're fine.
There you go.
But you have too much sexual coming off you right now, so you can't take your shirt off.
Thanks, Rich. Okay, RPG releases. So hopefully this is still accurate since we did change the structure of this episode last minute. But Horizon Zero Dawn came out on the PC on August 7th. I've seen a lot of people being exposed to Horizon for the first time and loving it, which is rightfully so because that is an amazing game. Have you played it, Rich?
Yeah, I have. I mean, I have it. I need to play it more. I haven't finished it.
Oh, okay.
But it's such a good, like it's so crazy looking. It's amazing. It looks so pretty.
I haven't actually seen any footage, but I imagine it looks, phenomenal.
So whenever I get that PC, it's not going to be like the most amazing thing, I don't think, but I might try to see if I can play Horizon Zero Dawn on it. I imagine I should.
Yeah, that's going to melt your computer.
It'd be all in all, it's going to be over $1,000 PC. So
if you're getting a PC, I would make sure it can run the tough quality of today and maybe be even a little bit future proof. So
yeah,
that's just me, but you do you. Another one that came out, is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Infinite Combat.
It's an anime.
Yeah.
Okay.
Came to the it's an anime. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like one of those horny hentai.
No,
JRPGs.
it's a horny anime that was made into a game.
Gotcha.
It's not that bad of an anime, but it's very fan service.
The title is definitely eye-catching.
It's pretty much like Dungeons and Dragons plot pushed into like as if it were real life, and then add in a bunch of like fan servicey, like every girl loves this main character.
That makes sense. Very common trope in anime and even video games. But that came to the PS4, the Switch, and the PC on August 7th in the EU and August 11th in North America. I just have that meme of the corgi with the bat. Bonk, go to horny jail. Banner of the Maid came to PS4 and Switch on August 12th, and Pop-Up Dungeon came to PC on August 12th as well. And I don't know what those are, so...
Yep. So upcoming RPGs. So we're going to do 2 weeks from whatever time we're recording. I'm pretty sure
because we pre-recorded next week's.
Yep. So Eastern Exorcist is coming out on the PC on August 14th. That's actually when it's entering early access. Dreamscaper on the PC is also entering early access on the 14th. Pathfinder Kingmaker Definitive Edition, PS4, Xbox One on August 18th. Mortal Shell, PS4, Xbox One, PC on August 18th. Death End Request 2, PS4, PC. It's coming out on August 18th for the PC, August 25th in North America, and then 28th in Europe. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered, PS4, Switch, and mobile, oddly enough, August 27th. The Dungeon of Nahilbuck, The Amulet of Chaos, PC, August 27th.
I've seen a lot of rumbling about Crystal Chronicles lately. I think there is a subset of people that are excited about that.
Well, okay, so it's on the Switch. Should we try to do that and play it just to see? You guys have any interest in that one?
I had lots of interest in lots of things and lack of interest in the same amount of things.
Yeah, I would be interested in doing that just so we have something that we can play together, since we've never actually done that, especially if we could find a way to stream it somehow. But it's not necessarily a game I would be excited to play otherwise.
Yeah. I'm a little bummed, though, that we don't get a physical release on it. So
I think not even on limited run.
Not that I saw. Europe or Japan gets one.
Yeah, so I bet you could.
You just got to move to Japan.
Yeah, no, I'm totally down for that.
You could probably import it off of Play Asia, if I had to guess.
Yeah, but I'm good.
I'm good.
That's too much work to do.
Well, I think
get slapped with some a bunch of taxes if you try to do that.
Yeah, then It's going to cost me like $200 to get the damn thing.
Let's discuss that off air, like if that's something we actually want to do or not.
Okay.
We need to do something together. That's fun.
Besides podcasting. We'll see. So with all the news out of the way, we're going to take a quick break before moving on to the main discussion. Okay, you guys still good to keep going?
Yep.
All right. Alrighty, let's get on to the main discussion. We're going to wrap up and analyze what went down in the RPG After Year's first ever #JRPG. Why don't I just fuck that up?
JPGB.
Let's wrap up and analyze what went down in the RPG After Year's first ever #JRPG July.
It's a tongue twister.
All right, so we're going to go over how far we each got in our respective JRPGs. Then we're going to talk about where all our listeners and everybody else that signed up got to. And for those that don't know or just tuning in somehow, JRPG July was basically a community event where we all just signed up to play our JRPGs in July and, tweet about it. And it was just sort of a community thing. We were all playing games together. I think it was pretty successful. A lot of people really seemed to enjoy it. Yeah. And the show got some decent traction out of it. We got a lot of new listeners and people that were interested in the show out of it. The original idea was that we were going to commit to finish the games we signed up for, but there were way more people that did not accomplish that than did. But really, it's all about the JRPGs we played along the way, right?
It's about the community. It's about us bringing together people and playing games sometimes, I guess.
Right. So all of us, all the hosts signed up to play Final Fantasy V because that is the current list game for the Golden Years. In addition, Bill signed up to play Tales of Vesperia, and Rich, you signed up to play Final Fantasy X. So why don't we just start with Final Fantasy V? Where did everybody get in that? I'll let you go first, Rich.
Not very far. It's still in the same place I've been at. After the pirate ship graveyard. Yeah, ship graveyard. I mean, I like it. I do. But it's just like I got this to do. I got that to do. Like, I got to play this. I got to do this. I'm like, oh, I forgot that game. So
yeah,
yeah, about that.
So you're still only like a couple hours in, then.
Yeah,
so.
Bill's gonna kill me, but that's fine. We don't ever play the games. What are you talking about?
Just read the wiki. Come on.
Yeah.
Personally, I got pretty far. I made it to the third world, the merged world, and I was at the point where basically there's only a bunch of side quests you can do, and then the end of the game. But I got sidelined by Wild Arms. Like this whole past week, I've been doing nothing with my free time but playing Wild Arms. So hopefully now that we're going back to this 2-week structure, I'll have a little bit of time to fit in more FF5. So
I'm further in Wild Arms than I am in Final Fantasy V.
Maybe sad. We just need to start putting like actual deadlines on Rich. Like you have to get.
I mean, I do like that. I work. That's what it is. I live off my calendar in deadlines. Like, oh, I gotta do this. Like, this is important.
Let's talk about that after. I think that's not the worst idea.
For what it's worth, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Like,
yes. Where are you, Jay?
Well, hold on. Let's talk about Rich some more. I am still struggling with the fire hoe and the fire crystal.
I thought you made it past that.
I did, and then I got stuck because as you're escaping, it's difficult. You can't escape without having that battle with that one dude.
Yep.
And then so I got stuck there because I had no potions. Everyone was dead. And you start that battle and like he'd one hit kill me because I had no HP, no potions, no MP left. And so I just reverted back to a save. And now I can't beat that boss battle. And I was like, I'm done trying for now. But so July was kind of a crappy month. Megan's grandpa passed away, so we actually had to make two trips out of state. One so she'd go spend some time with him before he passed, and then afterwards for the funeral and everything. And then we also had Megan's little brother got married too, so 3 times we had to travel over to Illinois, and that made it pretty difficult to actually get anything done. So that's one reason 5 kind of took the back burner, but also Ghost of Tsushima is a way better game, kind of just period. So I was kind of elected to play that game several times whenever I could have played 5. And then I started Wild Arms, I don't know, this past week. So that really didn't actually prohibit me from playing 5.
Yes. So I haven't played Ghost of Tsushima. I'm assuming it's an amazing game. I like Final Fantasy V quite a bit too, though. It's one of those Final Fantasies where it's actually they haven't gotten out of the mode where the games were hard. I think it depends on what class setup and all that you have, but I'm well into it. I've grinded a lot. I've got lots of jobs mastered, and I still find even like the random encounters to be like no joke.
Yeah, it's harder than what's another game that I could compare it to? It's harder than Wild Arms so far, at least.
Yeah, definitely. It's harder than FF6 and FF7, I would say.
Yep.
Both those games are pretty easy though. Um, have you played FF5 before, Rich?
Mm-mm. Nope.
No. Okay.
So I thought I had played it and gotten pretty far, but then you started talking about other worlds. I'm going to this other world, and I'm like, oh God, I have not gotten that far before.
Yeah, roughly like broken down into like 3 sections just based on the world. So far in my experience, they are about equal in length story-wise. But you're not like at the beginning either, like someone else on this call right now.
Who the hell would that be? You guys sucks.
It is our Bill has finished it, and so has Disa and several other people. So
Good for them.
you guys,
Yes.
you guys need to get on it. I don't want to do a review with just Bill.
I don't know how Bill does it. I really have no. Well, actually, I do know how he does it. How
He doesn't sleep, I don't think.
Well, there's that, and he has like an hour, maybe hour and a half train ride to work back and forth.
Is he still so he's not working from home anymore?
Wait, no, he might be.
Yeah,
Maybe
I'm not
working
sure.
from home. But before
Pretty
that,
sure he's not.
yeah, before that, that's what he did. He commuted to work using the train, and it was an hour and a half there, and an hour and a half back, or an hour, whatever. So he had plenty of time to do that. Where the rest of us are like, oh, once we get off work, we gotta go do other stuff. We gotta get these other things done, and he doesn't sleep.
Last time, the poor guy doesn't sleep. Like he's always, no matter what time I'm up, talking on Slack, I feel like I can get a hold of him. And it's like, dude, it's
It'd be like 8:30 or 10 p.m. our time, which is like crazy late in the night or morning, I guess. For
It's
him.
like 2
so,
a.m.
like 2 a.m. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, geez, dude. Apparently, his kids require a lot of attention. Didn't you say, Jay, that Gracie was like nothing when she was a baby?
Yeah, she pretty much was like we could just throw her on the ground and she'd be fine. Like,
Although we don't condemn throwing babies on grounds, but
well, you got to it's
yourself.
a light, it's a gentle throw on some pillows. But yeah, you just tossed her on the ground and she'd just do whatever she needed.
Yeah,
that's a good baby. I hope when I have a kid, that's what happens.
But yeah, not all kids are like that whatsoever. Especially as she started moving, she got a lot more interested in just being all over you. Like, so now she's to the point to where it's like, okay, she can like hang out and we'll play video games together. But at the same time, she gets bored real easily.
Maybe I was like one of those like creepy horror movie demon kids because my mom said I never cried when I was a baby. So it's
you probably just stared.
No feelings.
So that's probably no surprise to those that know me. I'm still that way today. No.
So Winter 9 Norway, which is that Disa?
That's Disa, yeah.
She said the key is prioritize.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
I was going to suggest that you guys like maybe should try setting a schedule for yourself ahead of time. Like, okay, Monday I'm going to code. Tuesday is for FF5. Wednesday is for Wild Arms or something like that. That works pretty well for me.
I mean, I have a good idea in my head what I need to do like starting next week is like I go to work, get off, I go to the gym for about an hour, 2 hours. And after that, then I do gaming.
Well, I had a really good schedule going before the COVID crisis happened, the pandemic happened, and everything started shutting down, and I couldn't go to the gym anymore, and like everything got thrown off, and now I'm just like, like sinking into perpetual depression. Like, what? There's nothing. I'm stuck in this house.
You know how that phrase? There's been like a lot of motivational stuff going around, being like, don't feel bad if you're not accomplishing things or growing.
Feed into COVID. That.
It's all we're. I'm gonna shut that down. You guys need to do stuff.
No,
I'm with you. I do stuff. I'm still doing things. Just not gaming.
Your state's wide open, Rich.
I know it is.
Disa also says, Rich, gonna play Wild Arms. Actual scenario plays FF14.
I mean, yeah, I'm doing both. I mean, my little brother still occasionally texts me, hey, can we play 14? I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I'll go play it.
The truth comes out.
You can probably do both. One hand for 14, the other hand for Wild Arms.
The bad part is I'm the healer. So like if we go into a room of stuff, like I have to constantly be watching everybody's health bar. I'm like, okay, I'm just doing this, spamming stuff.
Are you a good healer, Rich, or are you an asshole healer?
No, I'm actually a good healer because I don't let the tank guy go below half health. Like I'm always casting like healing on him. So like I'm trying to overdose him.
What a what a good white mage.
I feel like that should be a thing where you just keep healing the guy. Obviously, it's a status where he's like, "You have overdosed your tank." Oh crap!
Disa already says she also says she's just messing with you. It's because you work out so much. I think she's hitting on you, Rich.
You know, I do.
As far as what?
Nothing. Go on.
Okay.
You gonna make a comment?
I'm gonna refrain. You're doing very good with your powerlifting, Rich.
Yes.
I am just.
Have you talked about that on the show?
No, I haven't.
You said like a new PR, like in a competition, right?
I did. I got 400 pounds on the deadlift, 225 on the bench, and 360 on the squat. I have another competition in October that I'm training for, and then that's it for a while on competition. So
I've been trying to get back into it, but the last 2 times I tried to go and squat, I pulled my groin. I did it yesterday too. Just warming up, I just feel like my groin just stretched in half. I'm like, oh, I can't move. Like, what's going on? This has never happened like this before.
I mean, the thing is, those numbers I just said, like, they're not very high on some. Like, they're good for me, like being a very beginning lever.
So.
But to some of the guys that I know, it's like, oh, that's just their warm up. I'm like, you shut up.
Yeah.
Dude, there's some freaks out there, man. You can't compare yourself to them.
Nope,
it's not
that's
fair.
why I don't. I just don't look at that. I'm like, you know what? This is me. I could do this. I've never done this.
Too bad you had that hitch in your deadlift. You freaking hitcher.
We're not gonna talk about that. It just still pisses me off. It should not. I swear to God. Anyways. Should not
as far as we don't have a tea time from Bill today, even though this would have been a really good one to have from him. But it's probably for the best because I bet he would have gone for like 12 minutes. Yeah. But I don't think he finished Tales of Vesperia. At least I didn't hear him talking much about it. I saw him say he was enjoying it a few times.
He didn't finish the game. Holy crap! Suck it, Bill. Sorry.
What about Final Fantasy X, Rich?
I could suck it. I failed too. So
I know you've been playing it though.
I have. Like, I think I'm still at the part where your Operation Mihan.
Oh, that's where you were last time we talked about it.
I know. I still haven't played much, but that's where I'm at. It's still good ways in. I chose the sphere grid, the expert sphere grid, where it's just you can go wild with it.
How is that? I've never done that.
You can get lost on it. If you go the wrong direction and whatnot, all of a sudden you got Waka throwing, blizzard and shit. So
I think I'll try that next time I play it because I need to switch it up some.
It makes it interesting because it's like if you go the path and then you're still on it and then you're wound up in some weird area and all of a sudden, like I said, you've got Waka throwing out, black magic and Titus doing white magic stuff and all of it's just weird.
Interesting.
I remember back in my Game Shark days, I would like abuse the crap out of it, and just Titus would have everything. And I'd be like, okay, Titus, use holy, and then do like something that Orin would typically do.
I mean, you could do that with this now, technically, but that would take a long ass grind. So the key is that I found on some of those things that you can't get those spheres for, you can get extract C or speed, extract power, extract ability. Get the ability one because the ability ones are like less common apparently, and that way you have them. So that's what I do. Is I literally before every monster I kill, I extract an ability or I extract a power. So,
yeah.
No, you stop.
I don't think he officially signed up for 10, but I know Bill has been playing it a lot. He just beat the third Seymour fight on Mount Gagazet. Yeah. He said it's starting to get really hard, so I think he may need to go grind. So that's another one.
Trash it lately, so he must not be having the worst time.
Yeah, he does trash it at every chance he gets, but I think it's like at least half of that is because he's just trying to troll me, which is usually effective. I'm starting to get numb to it though.
It's not the best RPG or best Final Fantasy game, but it's still fun.
Right. To each their own. Yeah, like, exactly. I mean, you guys know that's my favorite game.
Yeah, you have terrible taste. It's fine.
Fuck you. All right, so let's get on to like how some of our community did. Assault Power X said, I ended up finishing none. I kept getting dragged into the league. League will do that, from what I understand.
League of Legends. Never played it, but I have some friends who are into it.
I heard it's so toxic.
I have heard that. We got a theme going here: soda X bread, soda by bread, soda cross bread. We'll never learn the true one. And remember,
soda by bread. I'm telling you, construction style.
I finished nothing because kids and work stress. I'll be better in August. Yeah, last time we had an event, didn't he not do anything either, or is that just the last JRPG July roundup?
You leave soda alone. Okay.
I hope things get better for you, soda pop. Let's see, Colin, our favorite Colin Sagajibus. He says, "You have my progress, and I always liked the event." Let's see, where did he give us our progress? I know he finished 3 games.
Where the hell? I mean, seriously, some people finish all these games. I could barely finish half of one.
Yeah. What is this? Okay, I found it. He says, my scorecard is Ever Oasis complete, Legend of Mana complete, Radiata Stories 85%. He got 166 out of 177 recruits. And then he has the audacity to say, not my best year, but solid. Fuck you, Colin.
He's a powerhouse.
Almost 3 RPGs, not his best year. I think he participates regularly, though, in JRPG July.
Does he stream?
I don't think
so.
He probably should. The amount of games he's pumping out.
Bill says, I finished FF5, started 4 new RPGs and 1 new podcast. Quiet month for me. He's not kidding.
Oh my God.
Kai, who used to be known as Kato Chain, I'm not sure which he prefers now, but he says, I loved the event, but I barely touched the games I listed. I put more time into Musu, is that how you say that? Muso games than anything else last month because of family stress. Though Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red has been awesome so far. And then Jay and him had a short conversation about Mystery Dungeon. You never actually picked up the new one, did you, right, Jay?
No, I played the demo. I really want to play it at some point.
Is it multiplayer?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So Jay, he says he finished Chantalise and Nier Automata, and he's about halfway through Paper Mario Origami King.
Let's see what Capsule J.
I think he runs another RPG podcast.
Yeah.
Is it? Do you know, Rich?
I think he does. I just can't remember. I can't remember what it is, and that's bad for us. We should know these things. We should know our community and their stuff.
I just know his name's Jay, and
he's in a capsule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does that mean he's an asshole if his name's Jay or all Jays? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Most are.
Jay, do you want to read the next few?
No, but I will. So Kaboski said, I didn't finish Radiant Historia because I ended up starting Valkyrie Chronicles 4 instead. And then I just want to also mention that I would like Radiant Historia to win the book club next time, please.
Is this the beginning of your campaign?
Yes. Radiant Historia 2020.
There was a lot of that going on this people switching games halfway through the month, and I was like, people.
So Saitan said, I was late to the group, so I guess I don't count. I did play through Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition during the month and some of Threads of Fate.
I wonder if playthrough means he actually finished it, because that's a pretty good accomplishment for Xenoblade, if so.
Yeah. Kazlo25 said, after 3 attempts, totally almost 3 hours, I defeated Kefka to finish Final Fantasy VI Brave New World on July 30th, then finished Xenoblade Chronicles main story the next day.
Wow. So he came in right under the deadline, but he finished 2 large games. Impressive.
Yep. So Jacob Wright on Twitter said, I enjoyed it. Makes it more fun when I put myself into a corner and get it done the last day. So I think these are actually more about the
event itself.
Yeah.
Well, so isn't Jacob, didn't he finish 1,000 games in a year? Is that
he
him?
Still participates? Yeah, he still participates in that the hog league thing.
God,
and he's usually one of the top contenders.
Yeah, thousands of games.
Do you want to take the next few?
Yes, I'll take Shino 7. Said enjoyed it so much. I'm just gonna keep going for the rest of the year. As for status update, I finished Trials in the Sky FC, which I had paused to play their stuff, and now it's done. I'm really excited to play SC. What's SC?
I think it's Calibur.
No, it's Trials in the Sky SC. It's the next game.
Oh,
that one in the series.
Sexy Chronicles.
Yes.
Horny Jill.
I think. I mean, I want to play those. I have one of them on Steam, so it's actually not bad. Not a bad game. Didn't finish the game, or excuse me, Rob S. I didn't finish the game I started due to life events, but I will say, just starting Tales of Berseria has me into the series a bit. Even went and got Tales of Vesperia remaster on sale last week, so it got me into a new series. So at least that I will finish someday. Yeah, I get that.
There's a lot of people that have been playing Vesperia lately. I don't know what it is. Like, it's not a new game, so
yeah. Well, I think it's because they put it on sale a bunch, and that's why. And they marketed the crap out of that one.
Makes sense.
Matt Jorgensen, I had a great time with hashtag JRPG July years, but I've realized I'm terrible at sticking to the plan and keeping updates going. Right back at you. I don't do that either.
Yeah, you can't say anything about that.
Nope. Troidal Power. I didn't finish the game I started for the event, Superstar Saga, but seeing folks talking about RPGs kept me pushing through the original Paper Mario, and I ended up finishing and loving it. So he actually finished a game. That's good.
Actually, I'm glad we got to this because we actually run promos for his podcast sometimes as another member of the Probably Works network. Mm-hmm. It's like Troidal Powers, power playthroughs with Troidal Power, something like that. But he just started, it's an audio only Let's Play podcast, and he just started Golden Sun, which is one of my favorite RPGs. So if anybody's interested in that, I suggest go give him a listen. I think I'm going to listen too.
Plug.
I was kind of disappointed Golden Sun didn't win the book club, but we'll get there.
I will make sure it doesn't win ever. I'm going to use my power. No, I don't have any power. Disa. We'll talk about you. Yes. It was so much fun. Definitely hope we do it next year too. Yeah, we probably will. Started and finished Destiny Connect and Magical Star Sign. Also almost finished Monsteria within time, just the morning after. Very happy with that. And I also played tons of other stuff. Of course, yeah, we know you play a lot of games.
Yes, we do. And she says she didn't know Golden Sun was one of my favorites. Yes, I played the shit out of that when I was a kid, both games. Well, technically the third game too, but the third game kind of sucked. But we won't talk about that.
We could talk after air, Scott, about how you can pay me for my vote. That's how that works? I think we work out a deal.
Maybe we'll wait until everybody has voted, and then we'll see where the standings are. And if it's not how I wanted it, I'll pay you.
I'll pay you more.
Because this is how politics work, right? That's how it goes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Corruption.
Unfortunately.
Drain the swamp.
You just pay me, and I'll vote however you want me to.
Let's see. We already read Colin's update. I'm looking at our Twitter post to see if I missed any or somebody that came in late. We got Lulu. She says, had loads of fun with this. Got Trials of Mana remaster, finished and picked up Tales of Vesperia. Man, another one. A great community play along. Shame it's only once a year. It is kind of a shame.
For those always.
I think the official group that runs JRPG July, they have a different themed month all year. So August is fighting games month. So if people want to participate in that, they can. But there's also a subsect of people that are doing action RPG July or August, I should say. And although the podcast is not participating in that officially, anybody that wants to continue the fun with this type of thing, it's out there. So what did you guys think about overall with just the event in general?
I think it was good. I honestly think it was a really healthy thing to do in a way, especially with how crazy everything has been this year. Not just on socially difficult, but there are a lot of people who are like financially struggling right now, and unemployment's really crappy. People aren't necessarily able to go out and socialize the way that we've all been able to in the past. And so I feel like this has been a really good way to, kind of forget about how troubling things may seem here and there this past summer. So I'm really glad everybody did participate. Just so we
That's
can
definitely one way to look at it. One aspect I hadn't really thought about.
Yeah, because at this point, like remote community is kind of the only thing that's kept a lot of people sane. So I think it was actually, I feel like it's very important that we had done it and allowed people to, I don't know, be a part of something at least for a month and to have something to talk about and look forward to.
Yeah, it's a good distraction.
Yeah,
It was fun, I think.
Yeah.
And plus, like I said earlier, the show got quite a bit of traction out of it too, as far as getting more listeners and just growing the community. Not that that was the point or anything, but I can't remember whose idea it was to participate in the event. I think it might have been Bill and Disa that sort of popped the idea. But
I think so, yeah.
I really enjoyed it, and although I didn't finish my game, I did get pretty close, and we made some new friends. And it's literally the real prize was the friends we made along the way, kind of.
I kind of feel like that's the main reason I do this podcast is like we obviously don't make money from it. I just enjoy talking to you guys, and I enjoy the people that we get to interact with on Discord and through Twitter. It's just really fun. And since I work remote and I'm also like in an area that is still pretty locked down on quarantine, I don't know. I think it's bumped up the importance of me being involved in all of this quite a bit more, and this certainly helps me.
What about you, Rich? You got any final thoughts?
I thought it was a good event. Definitely want us to do it again in some variations, or again next year. But I agree with Jay. It definitely brought people more distracted of what's going on and gives them something to play and shoot for, and just to put some structure for that entire month. I really hope we do that again. And like I like talking about, even if I don't finish RPGs, obviously, but I still like talking about this stuff with you guys and the community. So yeah, it's good.
I think we'll definitely do it again next year. The only concern I have is it might be tricky to balance the list game and the JRPG July game and the RPG Club game. So we might have to like combine the RPG Club and JRPG July somehow. But
well, we kind of didn't we kind of combine a list game with JRPG July?
Yeah, well, we were supposed to. I did. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, that'll probably work out. But yeah, thanks to everybody who participated in it. And just because July is over doesn't mean you have to stop playing and participating in the community, because really this is something that should run all year, I guess.
Talk to us.
Yes,
please. Come join us. Talk to us. We are here to talk pretty much all the time, because I know me and Scott are at least pretty introverted for the most part. Extroverted, introvert. So yeah, well, we're usually on. Now I'm on Discord because I'm not closing out of the app. So I've been a lot more active there. So come hang out.
It's been fun.
We'll talk with you with just about anything you want to talk about.
Yeah, it's crazy. Jay's getting more active and talkative. It's crazy.
It's pretty much only been just to complain about Wild Arms, but
oh, guys, I totally forgot to use this. I have a new drop for whenever you guys haven't been playing the games you should. So here we go.
Dilly dally, shilly shally.
I'm sad.
That is the famous Tifa line from Advent Children, for those that don't know.
I never understood that, by the way. When I first saw that she said that, I'm like, what the hell did you just say? Like, I don't understand.
I thought it was, for the longest time, I thought it was just like a Japanese culture thing. I'm just like, okay, yeah.
It's definitely just poor localization. I get what they were trying to do with it, but very infamous. So I have that at hand now.
Great. I think we should switch it up between that and the Titus laugh drop.
Had it at the ready. I'm trying to just get more drops in general, but the reason I was looking at the soundboard is so that I could officially call JRPG July to a close.
Yay!
So with that, we're going to move on to our very first RPG club. Okay, so RPG club. For those that don't know, It is just basically we hosts and the patrons each nominate one game, and then we each get 3 votes, and that determines what game will be for the RPG club, which is basically just a book club. We break it down into small sections that we can each get through in 2 weeks, although this time we only had 1 week due to a date fuck up on my part. Oops. But yeah, so the current game is Wild Arms, and we were all supposed to get to Sand River or stop in Milama, which is the last town before you get there either way. And we were supposed to do that by today, which is August 9th. So basically, we're just going to discuss our feelings about the game, the gameplay so far, each of the little plot points. We're not going to try not to go super long, but we're just going to, kind of have a free form discussion about the game. So who wants to go first about their general feelings?
Let's have Jay do that first, because I want to hear his thoughts.
Okay. So I don't know. So I like it so far. It's been pretty okay as a game. I thought there are a lot of really interesting mechanics. So switching the characters back and forth, they each have their own unique items that you have to use to get through puzzles. And it kind of brings them together in a way that I don't think I've seen in a JRPG before. But man, I suck at these games. They're like puzzles, and like you have to, it doesn't hand you what you actually have to do. You have to go in and just like talk to everybody all the time, and then it kind of infers what you're supposed to do. And I don't like games like that. I don't like not knowing exactly what the objective is.
Yes, there is there's even some key points where you have to talk to random NPCs to learn what you're supposed to do, which is a very, I know this is an old game, but even that I think maybe should have been antiquated by that point in game design.
And so like, I don't know, at a different time, I would probably be all for it. I would think that this game is super, super awesome. But in my current state of gaming, I just need to be hand fed a little bit more. So I've just been playing it with a guide and just letting the guide, feed me all that information.
Yeah, me too.
But I really wish that I was 13 and was playing this game, because then I would like totally love it. Like I would just, get home from school and just eat a hot Cheeto sandwich and go to town. But yeah, outside of that,
a hot Cheeto sandwich.
I just cringed there for a second. Like, what the hell?
I wish I had like a record scratch jaw. Like, wait, what?
You would just make a lunch meat sandwich with a bunch of mustard and throw some hot Cheetos onto it.
Okay,
delicious.
That's a little better. Like, I thought literally you just had a piece of bread and hot Cheetos and then bread, just a sandwich of hot Cheetos.
If you also put mustard on it, I probably would do it. Like dipping hot Cheetos in mustard is pretty awesome.
God.
Okay. I'm gonna need to digest that for a minute.
I was a very overweight child, by the way, and it was
me too.
Yeah.
Yep, me as well.
But yeah, outside of that, like I've been having a pretty good time. The boss battles are like a pretty good challenge. I've only died one time, and that was because of the night gaunt. Let me see. I went the longest time without buying any new weapons or getting any new spells, so that it made it a little too difficult towards the end there. I probably didn't buy anything until probably what was it? Sate Centaur, I think, is the first time I actually went into a store and bought stuff.
Wow. Meanwhile, I'm like over here grinding for Gil every time I hit a town.
Yeah.
Gil, what's the currency? Like
it's something weird.
Yeah, something I've never heard of.
I never had to grind for stuff.
Well, maybe we should say Jay and I did finish it, and we'll talk about our struggles to do that in a little bit. But Rich, where did you get to?
Wait, Jay, you finished it?
Yeah, I got to the Sand River.
Son of a bitch. Okay. I was hoping you'd be my other guy. I actually got to, like I said, Mount Zemo.
Zenom.
Mount Zenom.
Mount Zaganet.
So I really enjoy it. I'm going to keep playing it tonight and stuff. I just had a lot of things come up this weekend. I worked all day at both jobs and had family come in, like I said earlier. But I really enjoy it. It does have a lot of nostalgia feel to it. It looks horrible. Obviously, it didn't age very well, but that's the style it was back then. And back then we all thought that probably looked amazing. I've had no trouble with bosses, grinding for money. I think right here, where I'm at, where I just finished that spider fight, I'm like level 13.
I think that's about where I was too.
Yeah, I'm a little over leveled on it according to the guide I'm looking at, which is fine. I don't really care. I'd rather go through it ease. I fight everything. I don't run. There's a couple times like with the puzzles that I lose myself, so I'm kind of like backtracking a little bit. So obviously I'm getting more gil, or we'll just start calling it gil. Who cares? That's just our currency. You know what? Screw it.
Dollar
every game is now gil.
Yep. So I've maxed out on buying healing potion or healing berries and stuff. So
whoa.
Yeah, like I don't have any problem whatsoever. The spells, I'm still trying to figure out the spell forgery. Like I get those crests and then I just go buy next one. I've got like 10 different spells, 10 or 11 spells.
Yeah. The descriptions of the spells aren't very good at, like, a lot of them don't actually tell you what they really do very well.
Yeah. So I've got a good mixture of black magic and white magic. Done that. I do buy weapons and stuff. I keep that up to date. But yeah, the puzzles aren't so bad, I didn't think.
So I want to rewind for a second, though.
Yeah.
Rich did not finish the required deadline in time. So
shame.
And so we were wondering like what the repercussions would be, because we didn't want this to become a source of stress necessarily for us hosts and everybody. So I think what we're going to do is the punishment is you get 3 strikes. If you miss the deadline 3 times as a host, then you lose your nomination and voting on the next round of RPG Club.
I like that, but I don't want to lose my nomination because I need to sell that to you guys.
Exactly. So there's now money on the line for you.
I know. Okay, can we go back and talk about this real fast? Okay, who the hell said this would take 6 hours to complete this chunk?
That would be our friendly neighborhood, Colin.
Colin, I'm very. What in what world is this 6 hours? Are you kidding me? Like I'm at 6 hours right there.
So Colin made it there in just under 5, I think, and Bill made it there in 7. How long was it for you, Jay?
It was roughly around 7, if I deduct the time that I left it just like running in the background.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell then?
For some people, it was accurate, but for others, it was not accurate at all.
I used the guide. So
yeah, I used the guide too, and I was just over 13 hours, I think.
And I think I'm at 6 hours.
Yeah, so I think you're probably doing a little bit better time-wise than I was. Disa, how long did it take you? Okay, she says 15.
Oh, that's natural for her.
Yeah, it's normal for her.
Yeah.
Guys, maybe I play in Disa time too, and I just never realized it before.
Yeah. But I mean, from what I looked at in the guide and stuff, like I could probably blow past the rest of this, get down to where it needs to be in like 2 hours from what I've seen. Because I am over leveled. I think a lot of the monsters I'm hitting or fighting, I can take them out in 1 or 2 shots. And I do a lot of area damage stuff. Like I try to take out 1 or 2 things at a time.
Yeah.
So
the game is easy. I too am over leveled, I think, and because I can just basically mash attack against most enemy encounters and not worry about it.
Yep. I mean, that's good. I like that. So the story is decent. From what I can tell, do we want to talk about that story?
Yeah. So the basic premise of the game is you've got 3 characters, Rudy, Cecilia, and Jack. And they all start off in like their own like little corner of the world. And you have to play through a quest with each character before bringing them together. So Rudy is like a village boy who is apparently a dream chaser, which I still do not know what that means, but apparently it's like some kind of drifter, and they also might have an arm, which from what I can tell, an arm is just a gun, right?
I think so.
Okay. So he has the arm. He basically manages to release some kind of curse by saving a boy, Tony, in his town. And then he gets thrown out of the village, exiled because of him owning an arm and unleashing the curse. And then, so he gets thrown out. Then you've got Jack, who is basically like kind of a treasure hunter, and he is looking for some kind of power. And I don't think it has been revealed why he wants the power yet. Although there's been some hints. Apparently he wants to use it to protect people from demons and stuff. And he has a little blue mouse creature. It's like the mascot character of the game, Handpan.
Yeah, the little thing.
Which you can, this is just an aside, but you can use him to like get treasures that are far away and all that. We'll go to the individual abilities soon. Then you got Cecilia, who is the princess of the kingdom of Adelheid. Adelheid. I don't know how you're supposed to say it.
Yeah, Adelheid. What we just call it that.
Right, that works. And she starts off at a church school. I forget. It's like an abbey, something abbey.
Yes,
Downton Abbey. And she basically gets called on by the guardians, which are like summon beast gods, to fulfill her destiny.
Have you guys even summoned yet?
Yes.
I have not. I have no idea how to do it. I think somebody told me on Discord last night, but I don't remember.
There's these things called runes that you equip. There's a slot in your equipment for the runes, and that affects what summon the character uses.
Should probably.
However, Cecilia is pretty much the only one that could do it super effectively, just because of her high magic stat. But you can do like over 1,000 damage to a boss if it's weak against the element. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Did you figure out the apples and stuff?
Nope.
What about them?
So like you could just you could find them all over the place. So definitely look in places, and those you can use to boost your stats.
Yeah.
Permanently?
Yeah.
Oh.
So like I heard somebody say they didn't use them until like the very end of the end of the game for the boss fight, and then just like annihilated the person.
That's how I normally like hoard them and just never use those stat boost items in games. But this time I decided I'm going to be a better person, and I actually have been using them.
I see none of that. I feel like none of that's actually explained to you. So you have to go out and like discover it on your own. And that's like not what I'm good at.
I do wish that I had read the instruction manual before starting it, because I forgot that the instruction manuals are actually built into the PSN games. So I could have just done that the whole time. But
I forget that instruction manuals used to be something that people had to read.
Right. Good
like
point.
I haven't read an instruction manual for a game, except maybe the last time I had a game bought for me when I was a kid, and it was the only thing I had while I was waiting in the car to get home to play the game. Open it,
I feel like
pull
we
out
could
the instruction manual.
Exactly. That's such a common experience. I feel like we could almost do an episode on instruction manuals.
Ding ding.
Write that down.
Yeah, write that down.
So the three characters, they come together in Adelheid. They decide Adelheid. They decide to join forces. So I guess we can talk about what the game was like, the different quests so far. I didn't really have any problems with Jack, although I did his first, and it took me a while to figure out that there is a dash button because I would tap it and they just sort of started to go into the dash stance, but I didn't understand you got to hold it. So that fucked me up.
It took me a while to figure out that you can actually like pivot, like.
Right. Yeah. That's really cool.
You gotta maneuver it a little bit, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that, how far I had to step away. How did you guys talk a lot about the story? Because
we just talked about the basis of what each character was and what their goals are and how they got to all be in Adelheid.
So, So go on. I'll talk about this whenever we actually talk about the escape from Adelheid.
Okay. So did you guys have any interesting issues with Jack's quest in the temple thingy?
Nope.
I accidentally, so I finished it, and then it was like, oh, I accidentally skipped through what I was supposed to do. Like you're supposed to just leave, but instead I talked to the thing again and had to redo it all. Does it send you just right back down?
This is jumping ahead a little bit, but if you go back to Jack's Temple after you get Cecilia, while you still have the magic tier, there's some treasure you can get, and there's that little monologue the ancient tells you. It's like, do not seek out Lolithia, and I did that like literally right after you excavate Lolithia. I was like, oh,
yeah,
oops.
That's what I did too. I did that. I went back and got the treasure.
Rudy's quest I didn't really have any problems with, although I found in the beginning of the game I found navigating the villages in general difficult. Like I would get lost kind of. Did you guys have any issues with that?
Yeah, still, especially
no
whenever I was looking for the what the devil's it called, the duplicator.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I was looking for the duplicator in Timney,
yeah,
like what am I doing? I don't know where to go. But also, I'm pretty sure I got lost in Centaur, just trying to find. It was either Centaur or maybe it was Malama. I got lost somewhere just trying to find the freaking pub.
Right.
Like I don't know where it's at. I'm getting lost. How do I get lost in these towns?
For real. Speaking of lost, Cecilia's quest in the Abbey. I struggled with that for a long time. I think that has to be at least 1 hour of my playtime, probably more.
Ditto.
It's just the things you have to do there are very obscure. It's like use your magic tier next to this book and then check the book and then go talk to Sister Mary and then find the kid and then find the switches behind the statues and all that. And I was just like, I was literally walking circles around the place being like, what the hell am I supposed to do?
You have to like talk to everybody.
Yeah.
And then like a certain order
too.
Yeah.
So that part I did not enjoy. That was probably the low point of the entire experience for me personally. But anyway, they all get together in Adelheid. They decide to join forces on this excavation to find some kind of guardian statue in the ruins. So that gets excavated. They find out that Cecilia is the princess of the kingdom. And basically you have a festival with a bunch of mini games. So how did you guys did any of you spend any time on the mini games?
Nope. I also didn't save anybody. Well, I saved one person.
Wait, what? You saved somebody?
I saved somebody and then was like, oh, I'm going to look for somebody up here. And then I was like, oh, nope, that's how you actually stop the saving quest. It's like, oh,
right.
Yeah,
okay.
I did do that either.
I did do all the mini games. I successfully completed all of them except for the mole catching mini game.
That is why you're at 12 hours.
That probably
hours.
Was an hour out of it at least. But it was generally fun. It reminded me of the Guardia fair from the beginning of Chrono Trigger.
Yeah. I posted in Discord. I'm like, oh man, a festival. Something's gonna go really bad.
Things do go bad and quite worse even than what happens in Chrono Trigger.
Yeah. Oh my God. It is so brutal. Like when you have to go and find that little boy because he got separated from his mom. You find him, the demons attack, and then he's just dead next to you. This little boy is just dead next to you. I'm like, oh my God.
I missed that.
They just killed this little boy like right next to me.
Yep. So there's these demons that escape and attack the festival. And they want Cecilia's teardrop, which is an heirloom from her mother, I believe.
They also want the golems.
Right. Yes. So they steal all the golem statues. There's like murder and hellfire. The town is kind of burning. There's lots of dead bodies everywhere. Like the game at this point, like took a hard like left into really dark territory here. You're tasked with, finding 10 survivors. I think it just affects whether or not you get 10, it just affects the amount of treasure you get in just a bit.
Oh, good. I got no treasure.
Yep. And the guy that's in charge of the demons, his name is Belselk, which I heard is actually a mistranslation of Berserk, but we'll just go with what the game gave us.
I call him Ballsack.
There you go.
My head.
You do have a boss fight with him here. It's
very easy.
Yeah, Some people in the Discord said they didn't even get attacked at all. Did you guys? I know I did, but
I got attacked a couple times. Yeah.
he hits hard, but it's like once every 4 or 5 turns. The rest of the turns he'll just taunt you. So you go back to the castle. The king dies and all that. You try to you escape the castle to give the teardrop to Belselk so he'll spare the people.
Yeah. Did you? I had so much trouble with that. Like escaping the castle. I had to YouTube it. Like how are people doing this? It's like, oh, you literally sprint the whole time and try to line up everything well. It's like,
that part is like surprisingly tricky to do. Like the speed at which the guards run for you is like superhuman.
I must have got really lucky because I think I did it in 2 tries.
I probably had 8 or 9 tries.
Well, one of the mini games in the fair taught me how to run effectively because it's like a time trial sprint around 90-degree turns and stuff. And I learned during that if you sprint at an angle, you will keep running even if you hit a flat surface a lot of times. So that's how I ended up getting past the guards because that made it easy. But anyway, you give the teardrop, they leave the kingdom. The king, Cecilia's father, dies. And then you have a scene where Cecilia sort of leads the funeral procession out of the castle. She cuts her hair to prove to Jack that she's like worth going on the adventure.
Does that mean something?
I don't. Yeah, I was about to say what. Okay.
She takes her sword, cuts it off. It's a very Princess Garnet moment from 9, which makes me wonder: is this like a common trope? Like girls cut their hair with a blade to, signal a character change, or?
I'm guessing. Well, I mean, it happens in a Tales game, but with a guy. I mean,
interesting. It must be a trope. I'm going to try to look that up after the show if I remember.
It symbolizes transformation.
Right.
That's what I'm going to do when my hair is long enough. I'm just going to come on the podcast and be like, I am going to complete games. And I'm going to just cut it off.
That would be amazing. That's a highlight of the episode, I think. By the way, we are going to try to start posting highlights from the episodes. So if you guys think of any moments in particular, just jot them down so I'll remember later. So Cecilia leads the funeral procession out of all the dead villagers and everything. The game gets really dark. And then the narrator says, "This is where the story begins." And credits start to roll. Opening credits.
Whenever I saw that, I was like, oh my God, how long have I been playing this already? And
I was already past 6 hours at that point.
I was like, jeez.
I was like that, that meme of the guy that just does a side glance real quick. Mm-hmm. That was me when it said, "This is where the story begins."
Yeah.
What? So that part was really dark. And at that point is when I was like, okay, this story might be interesting. This might not be totally boring. And sometimes the characters do have like kind of serious conversations and the dialogue is generally good. So so far I'd say it's not, a super compelling story, but it's interesting enough.
Yep.
What about you guys in general, story wise at this point?
I feel the same way. I don't have any qualms about it.
Right.
Yeah, it's a classic RPG kind of storyline with it. You got to go protect the world kind of thing.
Yeah. So what the demons are trying to do, there's a group of 4 demons, and there's like a bonus 5th demon too. I don't remember all their names. There's like Zeke or something who's the leader. You got Belselk and Lady Harkin, and I don't remember the 4th one, but it's like a weird floaty thing. So they're trying to resurrect their mother, who is like a demon queen. And to do this, yes, there you go. And to do that, they have to destroy all these guardian statues. So
they are really good at it too.
Yes,
because
they always destroy it right as you get there, basically.
Yeah.
It's like, why did I even come? I should have just let them take it. You do go to this one temple where the 3 characters get separated. What was the name of that place?
It was the Guardian Shrine.
Right. So the characters get separated, and then the summon beast gods sort of like do a character test where the characters sort of question their motivations and all that. That part was pretty good. But you get the 3 summons, and they basically send you on your quest. So from that point on, it's basically just you go to these dungeons, you find the statues, and they get destroyed. And it was actually a really good point where Colin had to stop story-wise, because the last statue had been destroyed, and Mother had just been resurrected.
Yeah, I thought that was. I feel like it's a good stopping point, but also I feel like it's another JRPG trope where the bad guys don't realize how bad the thing they're doing actually is.
Yeah,
because the quarter knights, what are they called? But
I think that's right.
Yeah, they think that they're just going to revive their mother and use this planet as their new home, because their planet Hades was destroyed. And then they find out, like the mother's like, oh no, I destroyed Hades. I'm going to destroy this place too. And I'm going to destroy you guys. And it's going to be wonderful. And they're just like,
oops. That was funny. And I was like, oh shit, when that happened.
Like they did not realize that she's Genova. I mean,
yeah, her design is pretty cool. And she kind of looks like an alien queen looking thing.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. It's like, oh no, we're not living here. I'm going to destroy it, of course, and
it'll be great.
You will all perish in my beautiful flames.
Well, shit. The only other story thing of interest that I really remember from all this is there's a part where Cecilia has to go through with a fake wedding. Why did she have to do that? I remember it was Captain Bartholomew.
They just wanted to see the statue. He had the statue on his boat, and he basically spoke, talked out of his ass whenever he doesn't want to be embarrassed.
Right.
Basically, because he doesn't want to get laughed out of the town. So he's like, oh, this was my wife. We're getting married tomorrow. And they were just like, just play along with it. We gotta get to the statue.
Did you guys answer like all the questions that there's like the ceremony procedures that you have to go through with correctly?
I haven't gotten there yet.
I did some of them.
Correct. Oh yeah. Oh man, sorry, Rich. I didn't realize we were probably spoiling the shit out of you. But
I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
I'm kind of excited to get to that. That's kind of cool. So
right. Well, that's the price you pay, I guess.
Yes, that is. It's okay. It's sacrifice. I get it.
We honor that sacrifice that you just made.
I did say it's like where you guys went on with it. I'm like, all right, that's fine.
So the story is interesting. It's nothing to like super write home about necessarily, but I am interested to see where it goes.
So I felt like whenever I first started playing Jack, I'm like, oh, Jack, it seems like kind of like a nerdy guy. I don't know why. I just felt like, oh, Jack kind of seems like a nerdy bookworm. But as I got into it, I'm like, oh no, Jack is like Indiana Jones.
Yeah. If you watch the intro cutscene, the anime sort of makes him seem like a very like large, almost like Vash the Stampede type character.
Oh,
I know
Vash
you
the
know that
Stampede.
reference. Yeah. But that's who he reminds me of. So that's basically the story. As far as gameplay goes, we kind of already touched on that, but the gameplay itself, I like the actual systems, but it's too easy. You can basically mash attack and win. And even in the boss fights, you can just use the same strategy over and over, where use Jack's strongest special ability, have Cecilia heal when needed, otherwise use one of her spells or summon. And Rudy, you shoot your gun, and when he has the force power, use the aim thing, and that'll win you the battle every time.
Yeah, especially whenever you get some decent weapons for him. And like,
right,
that's why like Zed. That I feel like Bill said that he had issues with Zed on the boat. And I was just like, that took me like 3 minutes.
Yeah, the only issue with the boss fights I've been having is they seem to have a lot of HP. So especially when you're just using the same tactics over and over, it starts to get a little old. It's like, all right, you can die now.
I've also started using auto battle for random encounters.
All right, so I know that there is auto battle, but I don't know how it works. Please explain.
So you basically there's like this little horn thing that you can change either in the menu or in the battle menu, like before you choose to attack. So there's like two battle menus. The one that you choose the team actions, and then you cycle through the members to pick exactly what you want them to do. There's a little horn, and you can change it for each character from manual to some specific type of strategy. And so whenever you hit the attack button, anybody who isn't manual, the game just does it for you. So it chooses whether to attack or use items, and it's pretty good. It's I'd say it might be better at playing the game than I am.
Yeah, because I literally, when I'm doing the random battles, I'll just scroll Twitter or watch YouTube while I mash X.
and you still have to like press X, but you don't have to like it's a little more intuitive. You still have to press X to like initiate, like say like, hey, I don't want to change armor and I don't want to change tactics or anything like that. Just attack, and then it'll cycle through all three characters and attack. So it cuts your X pressing down by like, I don't know, a fifth.
Did you guys face that optional boss, Chaos, in the Maze of Death? Well, Rich isn't there yet, but
nope,
okay.
I skipped it.
That boss was a little more challenging. It was optional, but the problem with that boss is it likes to spam status effects on you. So it'll silence the whole party or put the whole party to sleep, and then it'll use those moves over and over. I did beat it on my first try, but a couple characters did die, and I had to revive them and stuff. So that one was actually.
Do you have a spell for revive, or do you have items? I've never brought anybody back to life in this game.
I think there's the revive fruit, which are items. I don't think there might be a revive spell. I think if there is one, I might have just gotten it. Do you guys remember a revive spell?
Not that I remember.
So I've gotten all the spells that seem important at this point. So anytime I get a new crest graph, I just, pick a random one. So I guess that's one interesting thing we could talk about, the crest graphs, the whole magic creation system. Basically, all the spells are available to you right from the beginning. You go to a magic shop and you combine like two elements and bind them to a crest graph, which you just find randomly in dungeons. So how do you guys feel about that little system?
All right.
Yeah, it's fine.
I prefer being able to just go
learn magic,
the actual spells.
I think it would be cooler if it explained more what they did before you bought them. Because a lot of them have very vague descriptions. But it's an interesting take on everything. The only other major gameplay element I don't think we've talked about is the characters' overworld abilities. So Rudy can lay bombs everywhere. Jack can throw handpan out to get distant items, and he also has a lighter that he can set things on fire with, or light lamps. And then Cecilia's only power for me so far is she can turn back time. So if you fuck up a puzzle, you can restart it.
No. You have.
Well, she has the magic tier. Oh, well,
you have the wand.
You get the wand.
You can talk to animals.
Shortly before our ending point was, but you can bonk at animals on the head and then learn their shit or talk to them.
So I just went and looked up some pictures of what the characters are supposed to look like. Jack is sexy.
Oh, let me look it up here too.
Yeah,
wild arms, Jack.
Got the jawline of I don't know, Hohenheim from Out Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah,
he kind of does look like an Elric brother.
Yeah, he does actually. Huh, interesting. Horny Jill.
And then and then Rudy just looks like a dweeb.
I thought Rudy looked cool. Let me look him up too. It's a very normal character design. It kind of reminded me of what's the main character in Legend of Legaia, Rich? Vaughn. He kind of looks like him, I think. So yeah, that's fun. It makes overworld exploration a little bit more fun. What I normally do is when I switch to a character to use their ability, I won't switch again until I need another character's ability. And that way I sort of feel like I'm playing as all the characters kind of equally. Except for Cecilia's power sucked until towards the end of our session.
So somebody told me that luck is correlated to how many wild battles you have, how many random encounters you have. I don't know if that's true, but that's why I always pick Jack, to walk around on the overworld.
That makes sense. There is a
Oh,
luck
wait,
stat.
Rudy has the best luck for me.
I didn't know that. So the luck
It could be totally false. I didn't fact check it, by the way.
It slowly drops over time based on your actions, and then you could buy these flowers to raise it. And then I think when your luck is higher is when you counterattack more or something like that, or dodge more. But yeah, I'm looking at the doc here. Is there anything else in particular we want to discuss about Wild Arms for this session?
Nope.
Not really.
I'm good. Ready to move on to the next chunk of the game.
Yeah, me too.
2 weeks from now.
Yeah, I'm glad we have more time this time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm enjoying the game so far. Rich, you have more time to catch up now.
Yep, I enjoy it.
So hopefully we'll all meet the deadline this time. I'll have my Vita. I won't take it on the beach. It's too precious, but I'll have it for the car ride and sitting around the place. Yeah, so I look forward to seeing where Wild Arms goes from here. And just so everybody knows, one more reminder, the next point is to get to the Sacred Shrine by August 23rd, which is when we'll reconvene this club. And with that, meeting adjourned. All right, so let's wrap up here. Jay, what are we doing next week?
So next week we are wrapping up the God of War review. So it's part 2 where we talk about gameplay, and like everything else with the game that isn't with the story. But we also kind of talk about the story some more. We actually already recorded the episode
because I'm on vacation.
Yeah, and I got some pretty good monologues in there. I hope you guys take everything I say to heart and play all the God of War games and then the actual 2018. And then love it for the vast story that it is.
It was a good episode. We went like a whole episode's length on just the gameplay and ratings, and then Jay's additional story thoughts. So yeah, look forward to that next week. And like I said, that was pre-recorded, so everything will work out in the end, and we'll be back in time for the next RPG club.
Yay! So let's talk about plugs, guys. Get some cool plugs here.
What kind of plugs?
Yes, the plugs here themselves. The rate and review us. Please go out there and rate and review us on your podcasting places that you like to listen to us. iTunes, Google Review, Stitcher.
We all know what you were talking about, Jay. he just typed in butt plugs, which, hey, we got all kinds of plugs here.
It just totally caught me off guard and I lost my train of thought. Rate review us, like I said, please. It helps the show, gets us up there in the ranks, letting us know how we're doing. And damn you, Jay.
Moving on, another way to help the show is Patreon. So like we said earlier, we've got early episode access. You can get your episodes ad-free, no more Anchor, no more Probably Works promos. You can get access to the aftercast, which, boys, it's getting close to time for another one, I think. So we'll need to start thinking about
what are we going to talk about? There's nothing's happening.
We've got extra reviews. Like I said, Animal Crossing should be live for the patrons by the time you see this. Corey and I need to record Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze and then Last of Us soon. You get access to the nominations and the voting for the RPG Club and more. Speaking of more, guys, one of our benefits is just a certain tier of patron that we give them an annual physical gift. So we need to start thinking about what that will be. I'm thinking
a copy of Wild Arms.
There you go.
Original PS1, still in the wrapper.
Don't get their hopes up. It's going to be not that cool. I am working on setting up the merch store, though. So you guys, there'll be merch soon. I'm hoping to have that ready for the next time I record.
I actually had no idea you were doing that.
Yes, I am.
I need a mug at least.
I'm going to have an RPG After Years face mask. So, yeah. So what else is going on new, Jay?
We also started using Twitch. So this episode is streaming to Twitch right now. So you can catch us live whenever we record. And we will also attempt to be, good streamers and maybe try to stream some content. I'm working on getting an actual decent PC build so I can have more games to easily stream, because I don't want to drop $300 on an Elgato to try and stream PS4 things through my not so great internet. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Maybe subscribe to us on Twitch so you get notifications when we stream. That would be awesome to have some interaction there.
Yeah, and now that I have my desk, I am also one step closer to being able to stream. Thank you, universe.
Yes. So you can email the show at rpgafteryears@gmail.com if you want to give us some show ideas or leave us some critiques. We'd like the critiques to go there, not all the reviews. But yeah, that's how you can reach the show. And Discord itself, if you want to join the conversation with us on, it's getting pretty lively over there. The link can be found in the show notes or pinned on as a tweet on Twitter.
I like how every week we say how it's getting livelier and livelier.
Getting so lively.
But it's been true, though. Every week it's popping off a little bit more than last week.
That's right.
Another way you can reach us is Twitter. The show can be found at RPG Years, and you can find me at the Scott Spot.
And me at HaleBlue1569.
You can find me at JAYD Hizzle.
Yes. And you can find Bill at Matonica with 2 N's. And I think that's about it. JRPG July is over, and the RPG Club has been kicked off. Exciting times for us here at the After Years. Thanks for listening, everyone. Join us next week for a rousing discussion about God of War Part 2. But until then, I'm Scott.
I'm Rich.
And I'm Jay.
We'll catch you guys next time for episode 28 of the RPG After Years. Bye.
Hasta la vista.
Bye.
Chase those dreams.
Don't become Bill.